Alright, this isn't going to be the prettiest video, but basically I have this 2007 Hyundai Sonata. This should be the same for 2006 through 2010. I have a GLS trim. I don't think that matters. And my steering wheel did not come with these audio control buttons. It came with the plastic piece that doesn't even have the option to push anything. And if you want to do these audio controls, first you have to buy the buttons, which I have somewhere. They're inside. You have to buy the buttons to replace it, but not only the buttons, make sure you get the set with the other side too, and the wiring harness, so it'll be wires from the buttons on both sides, and they'll feed into one main connector that plugs in inside the steering wheel. You must get the harnesses, because if you just buy the buttons, which I did first, you won't have a harness, and there's no harness in here already if you didn't have the button option. It's just a piece of plastic, and the wire only goes to the one side. So save yourself the hassle of trying to splice shit and just buy the double harness with the two buttons. I got these for 60 bucks. I think it's worth it. To take the airbag off, it's a Torx bit screwdriver, and you'll unscrew a lot. It'll be a lot of revolutions. Unscrew on both sides here, and you will pull this away, and the whole airbag will come off. You'll have to remove a few connections. There's other videos you can watch on YouTube showing how to do that. And what you'll also need to do then is, under there, I'll insert a picture. There's this metal bracket thing with more Torx bit screws. You'll want to take all of those screws out, and you'll also want to take your collar off here. And what I did, I'm sure there's a way to unbolt this little steering wheel up and down adjusting lever, but I couldn't figure it out. I just took some sheet metal cutters and cut this and just slide it out like that. To take your steering wheel collar off, again, these are actually Phillips screws here. There's 3 holes in the bottom with Phillips screws in. Just take them fully out. And then there's clips. You unclip the collar. You don't have to fully slide it off. It's just to get you enough room to move that metal bracket forward enough to force the wiring harnesses in under it and stuff. And then you can plug in your buttons. It's very easy once you fully get in there. Taking off the airbag is the hardest part. Don't do anything that can create a spark. Be really careful. You can detonate the airbag even when the battery's not plugged in, which, by the way, disconnect your battery before you start. Don't be using a metal screwdriver to pry the clips out. You can detonate the airbag and you could die. Okay, that's the steering wheel side. So that'll cost you about 60 bucks, and you can do it in less than half an hour. That was easy. The hard part is right here. Look at that. We got this Access Retain Steering Wheel Controls Universal Fit thing from RockAuto. It was about 50 bucks. And I have a Pioneer radio. You know, I just got it and I was so prepared, and I'm sitting on it. Okay. My radio looks like this. So it's an aftermarket, and this is where it plugs in. And then here we have the factory harness, and where's the new thing? This is the new connector that connects to, this is the steering wheel control box that came in the $50 box I just showed you from RockAuto. The instructions are extremely unclear. So, I don't have a lot of room here, so I use some of the extra wires in the new thing as sacrifices. You'll need to locate pin 18 and 19. They are here. They're the bottom pins. When you're looking at the diagram of the factory harness, it's not talking about the side closer to you, unfortunately. It's talking about the side where you have 1 fucking inch to work with. This one on my left is pin 18. This will connect to the SWC pin 4. It's the orange and green. I used a bit of the wire from a different wire on this SWC thing, because it comes with like 10 wires and you only need 2. And I made a sacrifice to make it long enough to reach. It's a mess, but basically connect pin 18 to pin 4. Next to pin 18 is pin 19. That's the ground. I have another sacrifice here. The ground is extremely confusing. For some reason, you need to connect every ground to every other ground. It doesn't make sense, but that's what they want. So, here's our ground coming from the other side. This is the ground coming from that side, which is pin 19. Here is my aftermarket radio plug. You can see whoever was in here before connected that to this side's ground. That's what this nut is. This nut now is my sacrifice to pin 19 ground, and I spliced it into where I had room on this connection. So now every single ground is connected. Here's the easiest connection. Red to red. It doesn't matter which side, this side or your aftermarket side, you pick red from. Just get them all together. Where even is it? Here it is. Shove them all together, smash them in a nut, boom. Okay, now we're done. Now we pray. We're going to plug all this shit back into the radio and turn it on and follow the extremely specific instructions, which luckily make sense after the wiring end of it, and see if it works. So if it does, you're seeing this video. If it doesn't, I'm gonna cry. Stay tuned. Okay, we were struggling with this for a really long time. Do you see the secondary, can you point at it? That one? Yes, this. That is on that wire that comes in the box. Make sure you plug that in to port 8 if you've got a Pioneer. It didn't say that anywhere in the wiring instructions, and we were like struggling and crying and screaming. And then finally it was like, make sure the 3.5 millimeter jack is plugged in. And we were like, the fuck does that mean? And I thought it meant that one, but it meant this. So that is not supposed to just hang and do nothing. Plug that one in, and then boom, it worked. All right. All right, I'm not going to play the music so I don't get copyright stricken or whatever the fuck happens with that, but wow, that's such bad quality. Anyway, if you are looking at this, you'll know this is volume up and volume down and supposedly mute, but what happens is it shows on the display here ATT, which apparently means attenuate, but I think it means pay attention, because it brings it down to about 25% of the volume you had it at. So if you need to pay extra attention to something happening on the road, just push this button here and you can still hear your music, but quiet enough that you can concentrate. But all the other buttons do exactly what they say, and I'm very happy. Oh, there, now you can see it. Yeah.